Alrighty, hello, glad that you're here. We are doing our tutorial on how to brush your dog at home. And I'm hoping that this will be real informative for you. Still can't read that all the way over there, so we'll bring it up close. You can purchase gift certificates for future grooming at paypal.me, Bark Avenue Grooming. We also have one of our other candidates. On Friday we had Marvin, and this is Chewy. And so they are both up for placement. They have done a month of board and train. And I have another call that happens only when I'm online. They finished a month of board and train. They progressed in a Canine Good Citizen training, and they have progressed in house training as well. So if you have any questions in regard to that and you're looking for a companion, we have those for you. We also offer Zoom mobile interactive video dog training, which I've been doing. You can contact us at facebook.com basics assistance dogs, and the links are all in the comments as well. And then if you're looking to get that Scentsy dog smell, the deodorizing spray for dogs, my husband's link is also in there. He is a Scentsy consultant, loves the smell of the Scentsy brand. I think it's still in the room because he just did a video last night, but that is a great way to get you over while you're not able to get to the groomers. So to get that freshly groomed smell. So let's get started. Again, we do not attempt to brush our dogs unless we have them tethered and controlled. Now, the last few dogs I've showed you, my pugs and Marvin, they don't mind being groomed. They have no problem being groomed. Chewy, on the other hand, does not like being groomed, and that doesn't, you know, we're all different and we all have different likes and dislikes. So don't be surprised if he's not real thrilled about getting out. Maybe he'll surprise me and be fine. So we're going to get him out and we're going to get him tethered so we can brush him, okay? Again, it's super important that you have the dogs tethered, so for their safety. And oh, now he doesn't even want to get out of the bag. Let me get him out of the bag. Here we go. Come on. Are you locked? Oh, it's stuck. All right, come on. There we go. He's just not wanting to get out of the bag. There we go. Alrighty, so we can tether on both ends. And again, I made sure that this table is something that you could do at home. It is just a sturdy table. It's my picnic table from outside. The rack is one of those clothing racks that you can get at the store. So it's something that you could do as well. It's not something that's exclusive for just us. So let me get him situated here. I see Griselda's on. Griselda is the owner of Bark Avenue Grooming, and Griselda is also the one that is doing the in-home training for Chewy. So we're excited to be able to include our training along with the things we do with the Bark Avenue. Alrighty. So let me see, I think I need a little bit more slack. And again, these straps are something that you could also do at home. I did purchase these off of Amazon. But if you did not have that accessibility, you could make do with a belt or a leash or something like that, just so the dog is completely tethered, okay? And so the dog is tethered. He's safe for himself. He's safe for me. I've had back injuries in the past, so I don't do anything that could cause myself any kind of injury. So I want to make sure that I am going to be okay while we're doing this grooming. So once your dog's coat is dry, we talked about washing our dogs last week. Once your dog's coat is dry, brush him thoroughly to get rid of the dead, tangled, and matted hair. Begin at your dog's head and move down his body. The underside of your dog's stomach is especially sensitive, so take extra care to be gentle when brushing there. If there's any heavily tangled areas, now our dogs, obviously being that we're all groomers, all our dogs are well groomed. So usually the areas that are the most matted are the bellies, the armpits, and in the sanitary areas around their, you know, their genitals and stuff. Behind the ears get really matted, so you want to take extra special care to make sure that you get all the mats out of there. Brushing your dog may take some time, especially if it's a long-haired breed. Avoid brushing too hard, as this can irritate your dog's skin. We don't want to irritate any of the dog's skin. Hi, Griselda. Thanks so much for coming in. But by removing the mats that are on the skin, by brushing them out, causes knots to pull and further irritate the skin. So what we're talking about is most of you have these kind of brushes. It's one of these pin brushes, and they're curved a little bit like this. and it causes you to be able to brush the outside coat, okay? And so I'm gonna do this real quick so you can see what it looks like, okay? So as I'm brushing this, it did pull some of the hair off, right? And being that I'm inside and my husband's the one that cooks, I'm trying to honor that. And you could do this. This is a great little idea. I just thought of it last week. I popped a hole inside of a coffee can, so as you get some little clobs of hair, instead of just having them floating all over the place, you can pop them inside of your little coffee can. It'll keep all the hairs in one spot. So as you can see, yes, I did pull off some of the hairs from his coat, but it only pulled off the top layers of hair. It didn't give me removal of knots that were on the skin. So what we're wanting to do is make sure that we get all of, and as you can see here, do you see how much I'm pulling? This is going down to the skin. This is removing knots that are on the skin. Now we're not scratching or irritating the skin because as you can see that the blades are curved. So we're not going to irritate the skin. We're going to pull the knots off that are on the skin. So we're getting the knots out from the skin up. We're not leaving those knots there. And what happens is if you just brush the top layer of the coat, you don't get out the knots. And look at all that. And he looked like a fairly well-brushed dog, right? So what happens is you think you're brushing when you do this, right? And this is how much we got off. Well, there's no mats on him. And then when you take him to the groomers and we have to charge you extra because he's so matted, and you're saying, why? I brush him all the time. Well, yes, you may brush him with this brush and it's brushing the top layer of the skin. But unfortunately, what we have to get out is the dead skin and the mats all the way down to the skin. And to do that requires a little more brushing. Do you see that? Especially on this breed, because for this dog, you can shave this dog completely. This is a Shih Tzu. He can be shaved down completely. But if you want to keep his hair, you gotta brush it out from the skin, from the scalp, all the way up. If you leave those mats on the skin, it just is gonna cause more matting. And what's gonna happen in that situation is that you're gonna have to shave the dog down. We have a lot of people that come in and want to leave the dog's hair. They don't want to cut all their dog's hair off. And we can't save the coat. We can't save the coat because these mats are so close to the skin. Now, he hasn't been brushed like this since we did this shelter in place, so it's been a couple weeks. You can brush them every day. And I don't know, Griselda, like I said, is the one that's the in-home trainer for him, so she might have brushed him since then. But they develop the worst matting and the worst dead skin accumulation and the dead hairs closer to the skin. So that's what this brush is doing. This brush is getting all of those out of the scalp, all right? So that you are not going to end up with a matted coat. And I know that a lot of you guys will come in and you'll tell us, you know, that you've been brushing, but unfortunately, if you do not brush all the way down to the coat, you leave all the mats on the skin, which is just painful for the dog, especially if you say, oh no, I don't want to cut his coat, please save his coat. Well, what that means is that we're pulling all of those knots out of your dog's hair, and that's uncomfortable for the dog, and it takes hours for us, and that's why we end up having to charge more when the dog is matted. So we really don't want to have to shave down those areas, so it's beneficial to you if you're able to brush all the way down to the scalp. Another one of the great de-shedding tools is this one. Now, he doesn't have the kind of hair for this that would really benefit from it. This is more for a dog that is a, what do you call it, an Akita or a Husky, German Shepherds, Labs, those kind of dogs. Now, for Little Bear, she has a flat coat, okay? So I couldn't use one of these on her because that's not necessary. What we do have, I should have brought that one out, is they have these rubber brushes, and I did talk about this last week. But I just want to make sure that you're aware. You may not think that a flat-coated dog needs to be brushed all that often, but honestly, and I just bathed her yesterday and a ton of hair came off, so she might not have a lot of hair left on her. And no, she doesn't. But what happens is these little rubber bristles will pull out all the hair for these short-coated breeds and will get all that dead hair and skin off the coat, which will leave the coat more healthy and leave you better able to breathe, because you won't be living with that dead hair and dead skin cells, right? So if you're wanting more information, I'm going to include the links for this brush, which is a good brush for you to brush the outside of the coat. Obviously, that's important too. But this brush is super important. I think this one's made by Andis, but I think one of them is called like a Furminator or something like that. But I'll attach the link for this one as well. And then this one is great if you have like I said, a longer coated breed dog that doesn't shed, that's constantly shedding its skin or shedding its hair, like the Husky or the Akita or the Labs and the German Shepherds and that. So this is the brush that would be great for that. And then, of course, for a short breed dog, we'll include the link for this one as well, which is really important, especially when you're bathing. This one was great for while I was bathing, so I could scrub all the way down to the skin, get all that dead skin cells up, and then wash them away so we had clean dogs when we started drying. And again, this is a live, so we're able to interact with you. I'd love to be able to answer any questions or take any comments that you guys may have. So feel free to add those in if you missed this. And we'll be sharing this on different venues so you can get the information that you need. So I'm hoping this will help you to be able to have a clean dog at home with you so that you are not having to live with a dog that's dirty. Nobody wants to live with a dirty dog. So, and then again, this is a great way for you to, as you're grooming and you're getting all this hair off. Oh, look at, he's shaking his tail. What a happy guy. So he actually did really well on the table today. To be able to pop the little hair clumps into something so that you don't have hair going on everywhere. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope to see you guys soon back at the shop. I'm hoping the shelter in place ends soon. But thank you so much for joining in, and please like, please share, and we look forward to seeing you on Wednesday. Thanks so much.